When Mel Gibson released The Passion of the Christ in 2004, it shocked audiences with its raw depiction of Jesus' suffering. But hidden within the film are layers of symbolism that go far beyond the violence. These symbols don't just retell the gospel, they expose the very heart of Christianity: betrayal, forgiveness, sacrifice, and redemption. Here on Following Christ, we go beyond what meets the eye. Today, we're uncovering 5 symbols in The Passion of the Christ that not only deepen the meaning of the film, but also transform the actors who lived them. Some of these moments were so intense that the line between performance and reality blurred. An atheist walked away from the set baptized. A hardened actor wept when he looked into the eyes of Jesus. And one chilling stare between Mary and the devil revealed the eternal battle every believer faces. This isn't just film criticism, it's a journey into how art can awaken faith, how images can carry eternal truths, and how even Hollywood can accidentally stumble into sacred ground. So let's begin. And remember, as we go through these 5 symbols, ask yourself, which one speaks to your own walk of faith? 1. Judas's torment. The kiss that wouldn't wash away. Judas has always been the ultimate betrayer. But in Gibson's film, one haunting detail goes beyond the gospel text. After betraying Jesus, Judas frantically scrapes his lips against a stone wall until they bleed, an act of desperation to erase the kiss of betrayal. That moment is not just cinematic shock value, it's a symbol of the unbearable weight of sin. Judas is consumed by guilt, and no amount of silver or regret can undo what he has done. The children who surround him, at first appearing innocent, soon reveal themselves as demonic tormentors. They represent something many of us know well, those obsessive thoughts of guilt and shame that whisper, "You'll never be forgiven." But here's where the story leaves the screen and becomes real. Luca Lionello, the Italian actor who played Judas, arrived on set as an outspoken atheist. Yet, day after day, immersed in the role and surrounded by actors portraying the apostles, something shifted. He began asking questions, confronting faith, and wrestling with what he was experiencing. By the end of filming, he did something extraordinary. He not only converted to Catholicism, but also baptized his children. Think about that. The man chosen to embody betrayal ended up discovering redemption. Judas's story didn't have to be Lionello's. And maybe that's the deeper message. No matter the depth of betrayal, forgiveness is possible, even for the one who kissed Christ in the garden. So ask yourself, have you ever believed your sin was too great for God to forgive? Judas believed that lie and ended in despair, but the actor who played him found the opposite truth. Which voice are you listening to? 2. Simon of Cyrene, when a stranger becomes a disciple. Simon of Cyrene appears only briefly in the Gospels, yet his role is unforgettable. He is forced by Roman soldiers to help carry Jesus' cross. In the film, at first, Simon protests. He doesn't want to be seen as a criminal or associated with a condemned man. But then, something changes. In one powerful shot, Simon's hand touches Jesus' hand on the crossbeam. The image lingers. 2 men, 2 lives, 2 destinies bound together by wood and blood. This symbol is unmistakable. Every Christian is called to take up the cross and follow Christ. Behind the scenes, this wasn't just acting. Jim Caviezel, playing Jesus, was physically crushed under the weight of the heavy wooden cross. His exhaustion and pain were so real that Jareth Mertz, the actor playing Simon, admitted he stopped acting and simply began helping a suffering man. The fiction collapsed into reality. And isn't that the Christian life? We don't choose the crosses we carry. They are placed upon us. At first, we resist, just like Simon. But in the struggle, something happens. The burden becomes a moment of transformation. Carrying Christ's cross changes the one who carries it. What about us? Do we see the crosses in our lives, suffering, responsibility, sacrifice, as punishments? Or do we see them as invitations to walk beside Christ? 3. Barabbas, saved by a look. Perhaps no figure is more shocking than Barabbas, a murderer set free while Jesus is condemned. In the film, the crowd roars for his release, and Barabbas stumbles forward, confused and almost disbelieving. But there's a moment, easily missed, where he locks eyes with Jesus. That single glance carries a world of meaning. It's the face of the innocent one giving his life for the guilty. For Pietro Cerubi, the actor playing Barabbas, this was not just acting. Gibson instructed him not to look directly at Caviezel until the actual scene was shot. When he finally did, Cyrene later confessed that the gaze pierced him to the core. He felt something beyond acting. Mercy, love, forgiveness radiating from those eyes. It changed him, so much so that he eventually wrote a book. From Barabbas to Jesus, converted by a look. Barabbas' story is our story. Every one of us is guilty, yet Christ takes our place. One look from Jesus can turn confusion into conversion. So here's the question. If Jesus looked at you right now with the same eyes that stunned an actor on set, would you recognize his mercy or turn away in fear? 4. Mary and the Devil. The gaze of spiritual warfare. Not all looks in the film bring comfort. In one chilling moment, as Mary struggles to reach her son through the crowd, she locks eyes with the devil, portrayed as a twisted figure holding a child. For a second, her steps falter. This is no ordinary cinematic trick. It's a symbol of the cosmic battle between light and darkness. The devil seeks to distract, to tempt, to whisper despair into Mary's heart. But Mary's steady gaze back reveals unshakable faith. She knows who the enemy is, and she will not give in. For believers, this scene speaks volumes. Spiritual warfare isn't fantasy. It's real, often subtle, and it comes in moments of weakness. But like Mary, we are not helpless. Her gaze reminds us that resistance is possible, that faith can stare down evil and not blink. The question is, when temptation or despair stares you in the face, do you look away or do you, like Mary, meet it with faith? 5. The Blood and the Shroud. Was the film too brutal or not brutal enough? One of the most frequent criticisms of the Passion of the Christ is its violence. The scourging, the blood, the relentless brutality. Some asked, did Mel Gibson go too far? But here's the shocking truth. According to studies of the Shroud of Turin, a relic many believe bears the image of the crucified Christ, the film only portrayed about 40% of the actual wounds. Over 600 separate injuries are visible on the shroud, far more than Gibson dared to show. So the question flips, was the film too violent, or was reality even worse? The blood in the film is not gratuitous, it is theological. Blood in Scripture is life, covenant, sacrifice. In one scene, the blood of Christ splashes onto a Roman centurion, and he converts. That moment is not just drama, it's theology in motion. By his stripes, we are healed. By his blood, we are saved. And here's the personal challenge. When you see the cross, do you see only brutality, or do you see love? Because love, when it costs everything, often looks brutal. So there you have it, 5 symbols from the Passion of the Christ that reveal more than just filmmaking artistry. They show us the crushing weight of guilt and the possibility of redemption. The unexpected transformation that comes when we carry Christ's cross. The mercy that stares us down even when we deserve punishment. The reality of spiritual warfare and the unbreakable faith of Mary. And finally, the blood that is not horror, but hope, the price of our salvation. Here at Following Christ, we believe films like this aren't just entertainment. They're invitations. Invitations to see the gospel with fresh eyes. To realize that even actors on a Hollywood set can be converted by a look, a role, a burden that became more than fiction. So let me leave you with this question. Which symbol spoke most powerfully to you, and why? Was it Judas's guilt, Simon's burden, Barabbas' mercy, Mary's defiance, or the blood of Christ? Share your reflections in the comments. And if this journey has given you something to think about, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, invite others. Because the story of Christ is not meant to stay on the screen. It's meant to live in us. Thank you for joining us on Following Christ. Until next time, keep your eyes fixed on the one who carried the cross, who shed his blood, and who still looks at you with mercy.